Marco Marchetti from the Foundation Sorella Natura, Ms. Naima Touloum, the director of the delegation for major risk from Algeria, Philippe Nardin. I know that you have to go, but we will ask you first. The first question will be for you. From CIPROM International France, and Danilo Calabrese from Lares Italia. We are also waiting for the assessor from Umbria region that he has to come. So, sorry, I have to say, prego, prego. A fianco, no, va benissimo. So I don't know if we have to start also the online meeting. Scusate, va attaccata anche Zoom oppure va posto così? Ok. So we are ready for our round table about adaptation of water management to climate change. So my first question, we will start from Philippe, is that we all know that there is a difference between institution willing and technical willing. So you are half institution and technician. So we would like to know your point of view about adaptation. We all know that managing the climate change, it costs really less than managing the risk after the disaster will be happen. So we would like to know your point of view about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this question. It's necessary a very long answer because this answer is complex and okay. The answer is and the response is necessarily complex because it's not one man, it's not one institution in the capability to manage the water and the problematic of the water and the climate change. It's a real problem of a society. And in this society, we have the public institution, but we have also the population. And with these two criteria, or two parameters, we have also the necessity to know better the different hazards, and in particular, the natural hazard. Because as we know, the climate change. It's not an ideology, it's a reality. And by example, I speak only for the French part, but I know it's exactly the same in Italy or in other states from the European Union. It's also the same in the North Africa. Each year, the forest fire, by example, and the forest fire hazard, along 10 kilometers. Each year we have 10 kilometers before. And at this time, in 2040 and in 2090, we have a forest fire season in all the French territory. And by example, in Great Britain now, it's not unimaginable since 10 or 20 years, but we have actually different plantation for grass, for grass, and we have a produce of wine, and we have a white produce of wine in Great Britain. All this explanation to prove that the climate change and the water resources is very important. And for these water resources, we have actually some states, some countries, have not the possibility to manage this water and the water. Because with the hazard, with the climate change and so, in certain states, and in particular in the middle of Africa or in Asia or in South America and so, in 10 or 20 years we have no water, no production of water and so on. And it's necessary that we have in the spirit of all the population, a real comprehensive problem of this, and necessary that we have also a management of cycle of water and the management of water integrate first the public collectivity and the public institution, because it's the representative of the population. And the second, it's necessary that we have the population who integrate also this problematic. It's not normal that in France, in Italy, in Spain or Portugal or Germany, we use a very important quantity of water because we have no problem for this. And we have also some states have not this possibility. And it's also you, the young woman and the young man who are representatives of future, who are also the porte-parole in the game, and necessary to initiate a comportamental aspect of the water management. And it's necessary that we start from the school to educate the population for this. Because now it's difficult. The old man or the old woman have not obligatory this spirit of this. It's with the young people that we have the possibility to move the spirit of the water cycle. Now the question is also with the technician. The technician is present to give for the political man, to give also for the population the problematic of the water management, to give what are the problems, what are the difficulties, what are the solutions, how we can better manage the water and the water cycle. But the final decision, it's not at the technician, at the political level, obligatory at the political level, who representative the population. It's for this that at the European level we have a specific strategy for the management of the water. This strategy is closed normally by the program in 2027. And we have a new cycle and a new European strategy for the management of the water. And it's important that the population, the member state participate at this reflection to adopt a new rule and to reinforce the actual dispositif for the management of water. But it's not sufficient, because we can have a rule, we can have also, if we don't modify the comportment of the population, we never arrive at the objective that we can adopt. And so it's for this that, in conclusion, first, the technician is present to give the best solution. The political level is present to adopt the best solution. But the best solution is from the population of the people of you represent actually. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Philippe. So, as you told us, technicians have a view and they will try to find the best solution. Politician has also to find the best solution, but in the middle there is the population that is the one that has to apply the solutions and is the center of all the dynamics about the water management. Okay, so I left Philippe talk a little bit more because he has to leave us. Because in half hour he has to take the train. So thank you very much, Philippe, from me and for all of us. Now I know that is also Fausto Guzzetti in the room. So I kindly ask you to come to the table to participate to the round table. And I would like to give you 5 minutes, per once in order to have a second round. Okay, so Philippe, before you leave, we would like to give you a gift. So, from Danilo, from Lares, okay, of course. And also the institutional picture.
This is the Lares emblem, and this is the story of the emblem, how it's born, the story, all the iconic elements. We are so honored to give you as a present in sign of collaboration.
Giralo Dani, se no.
In sign of collaboration and also as a good wish for our future opportunity to connect our institutions, organizations, and why not to have the real opportunity to do something together.
Allora, la domanda è chiara, diciamo la parte tecnica.
Sì, io più che altro presento quello che è la fondazione e l'impegno della
Benissimo.
fondazione sui temi dell'ambiente.
Benissimo, va bene. Facciamo 5 minuti perché poi vi farò un'altra domanda. Va bene? Sì, sì, o in mezzo, benissimo. Così. No, perché così mi muovo meglio. Non lasciamo il buco in mezzo. La strada via.
Buonasera a tutti, io intervengo come Fondazione Sorella Natura. Fondazione Sorella Natura è un'associazione che si occupa di ambiente, è nata 30 anni fa ad Assisi e ancora siamo qua. Nasce come associazione, poi diventa fondazione. Ci occupiamo dei temi dell'ambiente e di divulgare temi ambientali declinati, speriamo, in saggia ecologia, come amiamo dire.
So, Mr. Marco Marchetti is a member of Sorella Natura. Okay. Sorella Natura was an association that work. It is an association that work in the field of environmental and in the field of ecology. So they will try to make at their best, I mean, in order to make environmental to be close with ecology.
Nel corso degli anni facciamo numerosi incontri, numerosi convegni, tutti sul tema della ecologia, diciamo, saggia, guidata da criteri scientifici, quindi non tanto basati sulla ideologia, ma basati sulla evidenza dei dati e dei numeri.
Okay, so they made a lot of conferences, of meeting based on scientific scientific su temi scientifici, scientific themes that regard ecology. So there is a scientific view of ecology.
Tra alcuni mesi, alla fine di ottobre, saremo nuovamente in questa stanza come Fondazione Sorella Natura per un meeting, per un incontro sui temi della transizione ecologica e la transizione energetica. Questa volta declinati anche sui temi della compatibilità sociale, sui costi sociali che la transizione energetica impone. Il primo incontro sarà qui ad Assisi, il secondo incontro i primi giorni del mese di novembre al Senato della Repubblica a Roma.
Okay. So in few months they will be there, and they will organize a convention regarding the ecological transition and the energy transition. And the first meeting will be held here, and the second one will be to the Republic Senate of Italy.
Il prossimo evento che stiamo preparando, che andremo a realizzare nei primi mesi del 2026, riguarda più propriamente l'acqua. Partiremo dal diagramma di stato dell'acqua che individua 3 campi, quello dell'acqua solida, dell'acqua allo stato liquido e dell'acqua allo stato gassoso, e andremo ad indagare, ad approfondire gli ambienti dove si ritrova l'acqua allo stato solido, allo stato liquido e allo stato gassoso, con delle testimonianze di persone che lavorano, che vivono tutti i giorni, per esempio nel mare, per esempio in un lago o vicino ad un fiume, per cercare di appassionare magari gli studenti, magari un pubblico più giovane, per appassionarlo, per interessarlo e per trainarlo poi su quelle che sono le problematiche che ricadono su questi ambienti.
Okay. In this convention, they will talk about water and the state of the water, the gas state, the liquid state, and the solid state. And the person who will participate to the meeting, they will bring their experience. And so this is for trying to involve also youngest person and to involve them in the management of the water. And this person that will be involved are person that lives in the sea, or lives in the lakes, or lives in these parts in which there are the 3 states of water, in order to bring their experience. Okay, 5 minuti ci siamo, quindi okay. For now, that's all, and then we will come back to the second round. Okay, please.
Yes. Yes, it's on. Yes. So here perhaps I represented the technical ones, the scientific part. But I actually don't think that there is a difference between, say, decision makers, politicians, policy makers, and scientists. We both come from the same pool of people, which is citizens out there. And I am making the assumption that both of us, both communities, behave on the best interest of society, that no one is trying to play tricks. And we are just looking at the problem from different perspectives. And most of the time, it's actually much more complicated to be a politician and a decision maker than a scientist, because you have to take into account topics, facts, variables that typically scientists don't care about. We separate those, and our models are typically oversimplified with respect to nature. As I said briefly in my talk, I think that the scope for science and scientists is to inform both policy and decision makers and citizens. And that, I think, is the clue, and also the key to the problem. one more thing is that scientists typically get mad when politicians don't do what they think they should have done based on science. Well, try to inform them best, and then in the end, particularly in countries like Italy, where politicians are elected, an elected part of the society, they have to respond to their constituencies. So they make decisions based on a much more complex world than what we typically consider with our scientific models. It's not easy. The balancing between the two spheres, if you want, is really complex. As I said, it's an endless debate that has, depending on time, history, and geography, has many different facets. But it's also a nice game to play.
Può passare il microfono. So, which is your point of view? You are in the part of the politician or in the part of the technician?
Okay.
What do you think these two parts could live together?
I think, for example, in my country, in Algeria, I am a scientist. I am a researcher. And recently, I work with the government. I am decision maker. This is a new way for Algerian government to implement scientific results using experts and researchers in different fields in our country. Here, I think, in my place today, I am changing a lot of if I can see that, I participate in to elaborate strategies, vision, and modify our political vision against water or against or problematic related to disaster risk. For example, in my country, in the past, the objective is to build a lot of dams, a lot of barrage. But today, our position is different. To build barrage, to build how to say barrage in English? Dam is good, but it is not the best way to manage water, because we lost a lot of water by evaporation. For this reason, we are studying how we can use other ways to preserve water. For example, we try to alimент or to introduce water to underground, to preserve the water under soil, to recharge the underground, nap. This is, we think, as a scientist, the best way to preserve water for future generations in Algeria. We will not build other dam. I hope so. We decided that. But we are thinking how we can preserve water and to recharge our nap underground. This is, I think, the first solution, scientist and political solution. Also, as you know, and everyone knows that in Algeria, we have the largest underground water nap in the world. And this nap is, how to say that in English? Renouvelable. Yeah, renewable. I think. Donc we are managing, we are thinking, we are making a strategy how we can use this water and to preserve also this water for the other generation. Water in Algeria is like something very very specific, not only in a political decision, but only it is introduced as a big element for security and for safety of the person. It is very important in our governmental vision to make disponible the disponibility of this of the water for all population in Algeria. And also we are thinking how we can use other resources to get water. For example, we have some places in Algeria very far to the town or the city. We are thinking how we can use humidity or some water in the sky to keep it and to transform it to waters to use for population. The population use this water and to consume this water very pure. Also, the desert in Algeria is very rich in water, but we need more new technical and more innovation, how to use it and how to modernization, the technical and the equipment, etc., etc. We have a planification, we have a strategy about that, but we are still, we know that it's a very hard challenge to have it, to get it. You understand?
Me?
The question is the same.
It's the same question.
It's the first round, and then we go to the second.
Yeah, good. I'm personally in the same way with my colleague. So we are coming from Algeria, so she's in the government, me, I'm at the university. So I think the problem of water around the world, actually, I always said, like the political men who speak about, always about water, that the third world war is the war, of water, actually, because all the world is increased with water. So in Algeria, what she said, I agree, because actually we have a very problem with water, especially in the north. Some villages, some towns, some cities suffered actually with this problem of water. Can you imagine 1 per 10 days you can get water at home? It's difficult. So, but our government, our state, always thinking about the best solutions, how to can have water for all the populations. The populations in Algeria actually increases day after day. So, but we have water underground. Actually, in the desert, we have 55 billion meter cube of water. This is our reserve actually in Algeria. So I think all the possibilities, for example, in Algeria, I speak about Algeria, because I know my country. So all the possibilities are here to think about the future and to organize ourselves using all the possibilities that we have for the next generation to preserve water. So I think all the countries around the world actually with the problem of climate suffer day by day, every day. That's why we are here today talking about water. Maybe we can contribute, with some professional solutions, because we are in the first door that we will think about that. But we have all the possibilities that I said. We can develop our wishes to create other ways to preserve water around the world. Thank you very much.
I took some notes in the meanwhile, and I want to focus my little speech on a specific topic. Most of you come from degree courses in architectures, in engineer. I'm wrong? Am I wrong? No, I'm right. Okay, well, it means you're gonna be, or somebody of you probably already become architects, okay? It means you are a technician. So maybe you have to define what will be your role, not just as a professionals, but also your role as a social person in the technical wars. So maybe we have also taking some consideration from the colleagues that talked before me. We must do an unnecessary distinction. At the same time, we should discuss about a proper relationship between science and politics, for example. Science has the task to produce knowledge, of course, so investigating, so produce products to understand the phenomena, to anticipate the scenarios. Okay, politics has the duty to decide. But, for example, take me as a sample. I'm a technician, of course. I'm a young professor into university. But I spent 15 years of my life in the politics, for example. And I also had some rules in the past that put me in the condition to take some decision. And in your opinion, what I was in that moment? Politician or technician? Who can define the rules? It's so hard. So the conclusion is very simple. I just want to invite you to understand your role in your position and always putting your social responsibility, also spending your professional competencies. Maybe sounds like too much, how can I say, philosophic, let's say, but I really believe in the responsibility of technicians also involved in the politics environment. But you don't need to be politics in the same time of technician, because you can be the technician on the side of the politics person, and you must help them to take the right decision. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah? Okay. I just wanted to share this consideration. Maybe we can go on. And at the same time, ben arrivato al nostro assessore regionale Thomas De Luca, grazie per averci raggiunti.
So, as Danilo says, our regional assessor, Mr. Thomas De Luca, welcome, is our assessor to environment, energy, and territorial planning, climate change mitigation. So you are the assessor to all the environmental part of Umbria. Okay, so after the assessor will do the conclusion, but if you like, I will also invite you to participate to the round table. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome. So I briefly introduce you the other participants. We have Marco Marchetti from the Foundation Sorella Natura, is from Assisi, of course. And then we have Fausto Guzzetti, that is a member of the Civil Institute from Civil Institute CNR. Okay, for the CNR, Civil National Research Institute. We know all as CNR, okay. And then we have Miss Naima Touloum, that is the National Director of Delegation for Major Risk in Algeria. And then we have Murad Marok from the Professor Murad Marok from the University of Blyth in Algeria. And Professor Philippe Nardin, yes, that was to the round table, but he has, unfortunately, he has to left us in a few minutes because he has to return in his country. That is from CIPROM International in France. and is our collaborator also in some project regarding risk management. So we have finished the first round, and now I have the second question for all of you, because the game has changed. Now we have floods, we have dryness, and most we have it in country in which we are not used to have it. So now we have to change our civil protection plan. We have also regarding water management, and we have also to work on the waste of water in country which it was not necessary. I think about the northern country for Europe, and we have floods in country in which we are not expected to have it, like country of the north of Africa. So the game has changed, and we have to change our vision. In your opinion, what is the best way, I mean, to change our civil protection plan in order to make the prevention of the risk that we all know that costs much, much less than the recovery after the damage caused by the risks?
Bene, io ora torno al geologo che sono. Prima ho parlato per conto della Fondazione Sorella Natura, ora parlo come geologo. La prevenzione del rischio, con rispetto ai cambiamenti climatici, cominciamo, no? Intanto non neghiamo i cambiamenti climatici, guardiamo i dati, guardiamo i numeri, guardiamoli bene e crediamo, ascoltiamo quello che dicono il 97-98% degli scienziati. In questo caso 1 vale 1, quindi 98 su 100 affermano certe cose, ascoltiamo e crediamo a quello che ci dicono 98 scienziati su 100, quindi non neghiamo il cambiamento climatico.
Okay. So the first thing we have to do is to be sure about the climate change. I mean, the 98% of scientists told us that we have a climate change, so we have to take it account because there are the most of the scientists. We have to believe in the climate change, and this is the first thing that we have to do to believe in the climate change.
Quindi io come geologo cerco, credo o spero di saper leggere il paesaggio e l'ambiente e il territorio. Quindi quando parliamo di rischi connessi al cambiamento climatico, io cerco sempre di fare un passo indietro, di non metterci in condizioni di rischio, di cercare di salvaguardarci dalle condizioni di rischio, e a volte bisogna fare anche un passo indietro rispetto alle nostre aspettative, alle nostre esigenze. Non può essere fatto tutto dappertutto. Bisogna avere la conoscenza, e la conoscenza ci deve dare un po' di umiltà nel dire: questa cosa non può essere fatta in questo posto le cose vanno fatte in questa maniera.
Okay. Now he speaks as a geologist, because he is a geologist, and he said that a geologist, I think that I know the landscape, I know the environmental. Hi, Philippe. Bye-bye. I know the landscape, I know the environmental, and the first thing that we have to think about is that not all things are going to be done everywhere. We have to choose where it's possible to do the thing that we have in mind, and we have to stop and take a step back in places in which it's not possible to do it. This is a prevention of risk that is very important and is very crucial at this moment in this context of climate change.
Quando parliamo di acqua pensiamo subito, no, al rischio Sì, esatto, quello che è rischio legato a fenomeni di esondazioni. Quindi pensiamo ad un corso d'acqua e vediamo la violenza che abbiamo operato sul territorio dove insiste quel corso d'acqua. Quindi ora a volte dobbiamo rimediare e rimediare da tecnico va fatta uno studio e poi sarà il decisore politico che purtroppo per lui è chiamato a scegliere, è chiamato a decidere su quelli che sono i consigli, gli studi dei tecnici. Importante è capire quello che dicevo prima, che non tutto può essere fatto dappertutto.
Okay, so for example, now we have the big problem of floods, and if we watch a water course, we have to ask us what is the violence that we have done in this territory. So we have to change our perspective. The technicians have to find solution, and then they have to bring them the solution to the politician. And as we told before, we have to do a step back. And then this is very crucial for the prevention, as he told before, and the second time that is told him, we have to think that not all is possible to be done, and this is crucial. Okay, grazie.
Okay. You are asking difficult questions, so you are asking tough questions, but I think that from a scientific perspective, we have most, I should not say all, but we have most of the information, most of the knowledge we have to improve the current situation. So already using whatever we know now will make the situation better. So politicians already have a lot of choices and a lot of information to choose with, to choose from to be able to make their decisions. In the last, I would say 40, 50 years, we made tremendous programs in Italy, but not only, toward the forecasting, the short-term forecasting of events like floods, thunderstorms, many meteorological events, landslides, droughts, and so on. That information is not entirely, is not fully exploited, and we should be able to exploit that information much better. Think about meteorological forecast. I was born in an era where meteorological forecasts were made on more or less using a glass ball. Now we have, every one of us has pretty good meteorological forecast in their own iPhones. And in many of them, you have app that provides 4, 5, 6 different models in the same. And we got used to use it. We know how to use this information. On the other hand, I think that, again, from a scientific point of view, it's very easy to make very long-term projection. If you tell me what will be flooding or landsliding or droughts 1,000 years from now in Umbria, it's fairly easy to say. Also because I will not be there, and so who can challenge me? There is no problem. But the two are not very useful to make decisions for planning, for environmental modeling, for land use and land protection. For that, we should be able to make forecasts in the range from, say, a few years to a few decades. There, in many fields, think about floods, landslides again, droughts, our ability to make predictions there, it's much more difficult because the problem itself is much more complex. And in addition to that, we have huge uncertainties in the modeling, as I said, in the modeling themselves and in the drivers of the model, like climate change. All the interactions that climate change brings into the models, we barely start understanding the links, let alone modeling them. It's very complicated. But this is actually the information that policy and decision maker needs. They need an outlook to 20 years, 30 years to be able to make reasonable scientific-based solutions. And that's where it's where I see the societal focus of scientists. We should do our best to improve our ability to do that, to do this forecast. One last thing is communication. As I said before, I strongly believe that a pillar of democracy is information. If people are informed, even if they take the wrong decision, they have taken it based on good, sound information, and it is part of the political play. So as scientists and as technicians, we should play as much role as possible in informing not only decision makers and policy makers, not only politicians, let's say, but also our fellow citizens. Beginning in schools, we should train our kids to understand what science is, how it works, and how we can use it. A very final remark, one of our previous speakers talked about philosophy. I personally think that in these matters, when you talk about natural hazards, the use of environment, a sound, a profound understanding of philosophical issues is mandatory. You cannot just pretend you are a dry technicians. There is no such things. We are all human beings. And we act as human beings even if we don't think about it. And philosophy is the science, is the part of science that deals with this problem. And for example, I am an advocate of teaching philosophy, particularly epistemology, the science of the philosophy of science in university courses, which is not done today.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
So this is a very good point of reflection, and I want also to point it for the next people that are going to make their intervention, the training of the population. This is something very, very crucial, something we point a lot also as an association. This is something that, okay, is very interesting in your reflection. Thank you.
Disaster risk, floods, or seismic event, or forest fire. In Algeria, we have these three biggest major risks. When the population is well prepared to seismic event in Algeria, but not for floods. We have still the population not warned how to react or to act under flood in the urban area, because the most flood that we have, they are in the urban area. Of course, Algerian government elaborate a strategy, a big strategy to manage flood and to undertaken a lot of action in order to reduce the impact of this flood. But unfortunately, we still lost a lot of people and a lot of money to rehabilitate and to repair the impact of flood. In the past, the flood were observed only in the north, but during 3 years, we observed floods only in the desert and in the Sahara. This is related principally to extreme events, because in the Mediterranean basin before, we don't know what is extreme event, but today we know that we have storms, we have pluvial in extreme, very small time, and our cities are not prepared to this extreme event. The first biggest flood seen in Algeria is in 2001. In the capital of Algeria, we lost a lot of people, more than 2,000 people in this event. Why? Because before that, we don't know what is flood. with just now seismic, etc., and the urbanization and the organization of the city and the development of the city didn't take into consideration the risk of inundation or floods. For this reason, our management and our planification, we revisit this, which applied in Algeria, SNAT, the national schéma, le schéma national de l'aménagement du territoire, how to manage our land. We revisit this law and we integrated in this very important law how to manage our territory against flood or against other major risk in Algeria. This is a big challenge, I think, in Algeria in the future years, because we are still, even we have biggest to highest or service, meteorological service, we can identify the region or wilaya or province which the event extreme will be occurred, but we can't determine if the city will be exposed to a flood or the other city. We're still working on that. This is the difference. Maybe, for example, our service meteorologic sent in 3 days, we have 20 wilaya will be exposed to pluvial or to very extreme event in terms of water or run, etc. But for the 14 wilaya or the 15, we don't know which wilaya is most exposed than other. How we did about that? We analyzed all this in our institution, and we discuss with the governor, we discuss with the wali, and we prepare our civil protection. In case of there is damage or there is an event extreme, we will be ready to save population. This is what we are doing today. And after that, we work to evaluate damage and to see which kind of damage, how we can rehabilitate. For example, for one event just in May, in Algeria, we lost more than 100 billion dinars, just for 3 days, in 13 wilaya. Thank you. For me, is still a big challenge in Algeria. We need to understand, we need to elaborate. Even we have strategy. We developed more than 800 places that exposed to floods in Algeria, but still increasing and developing. We don't know how to deal with this risk, not yet, but we are working to improve the situation.
Tu as tout dit, qu'est-ce que je vais dire alors? C'est le problème. Être avec elle ici, non, moi, normalement je serais là-bas et elle est là. Alors, it's a joke. No, it's not a problem. So I think we came from the same country, we have the same ideas, we have the same policy. Though. I think she resumed. Yeah, she resumed. Of course.
Which is very high exposure to floods in all our territory. We have 2.5 million square kilometers. We have the largest country in Africa. We know that. But even here, this number is increasing. We have new towns, new cities, how we can manage everything, how we can develop, how we can make planification to reduce, how to modernize our cities, taking account this risk, flood specific. Because for seismic event, we are built in using paraseismic prevention, all the disposition. We have a regulation since 17, since we have our, but not against floods.
So you are the university, you are an architect, so you have to give solution.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. As an architect or urbanist, I can say something. I think it's time to stay around the table and think seriously. Because actually, the question is it our cities or towns are ready to be faced for all these problems? This is the question. So we need strategies, certainly. But we will prove these strategies with real interventions. Because talking about floods, talking about earthquakes, it's not easy to have immediately solutions. That's why we think always about new strategies and develop new ideas in this way. Maybe the university can contribute, of course.
I agree, but the problem here with flood is new data every day. This is the problem. How to be expecting the model changing, the data changing, how to adapt our cities to this changing, to this modification of variability. How we can do that?
This is the position, that's what I thought before our discussion now, that we will get a chance to meet all together around the table and to discuss not only the university of or the ministry of interior ministry of, no, all persons who are able to give some solutions, they are welcome. It starts to be necessary that today we will get our reaction immediately. Because she resumes, I don't want to explain more things, but she resumes all the situation, for example, in Algeria. Actually, the south, we can talk about the floods. Before, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, it was a very solution there, but there is no floods there. But actually, with change, the risk, or the climate changes, a lot of problems come from the south also, the rivers in the south. So that's what I said, maybe because I'm coming from the university as a researcher, I have my position, and I am here to help my country, of course, and maybe we can work together to get new ideas, new strategies, just not to stop the risks, but to be with new solutions with the risks. Thank you very much.
We spend a lot of money in the management of the risk. Now they hear me. And in the recovery, we put a lot of financial resources on this. But all around the world, not only in Italy, we see that we don't put the money in the forecasting and in the prevention. So this is very strange because we all know that risk recovery costs at least 4 times more than prevention. But this is something that we are doing all around the world. It is very, very strange. So this is a point of reflection.
Infatti volevo iniziare tranquillizzando gli amici algerini che non solo, ecco, da loro c'è un'impreparazione nella gestione, ecco, anche della pianificazione pregressa in termini urbanistici o in termini di gestione del rischio rispetto agli eventi estremi, ma anche in Italia ci troviamo a essere estremamente impreparati. Questo proprio perché in maniera, ecco, anche difficilmente spiegabile è molto più il paradigma è costruito nella gestione del danno piuttosto che nella prevenzione e nella riduzione, quindi del rischio.
Okay, he said that our friends from Algeria are in good company because we have the same problem. Because we have, we can say that we can face the damage, and when you have a damage, you spend a lot of money, okay? But we still don't put enough money on preventing, so we have the same problem also here in Italy.
La politica, ecco, su questo non ci sono dubbi, ha un solo dovere, quello di dire la verità rispetto ai cambiamenti climatici e mettere a frutto quello che il 99% della comunità scientifica ci dice per semplicemente confermare quello che è ovvio e sotto gli occhi di tutti. Oggi purtroppo ci troviamo in una dilagante diffusione di fake news rispetto ai cambiamenti climatici, spesso anche sostenute economicamente da chi non vuole cambiare il sistema, da chi è legato all'economia dei combustibili fossili e non vuole che si riducano i fattori di rischio.
Okay, so the duty of politics is just one, to say the truth. So the politicians has to say what 98-99% of scientific science people says. So climate change exists. So they have also to be able not to, to fight against the fake news that are around, they are sustained by it. The people, they don't want that climate change is taken, seriously. So they have to be truthful. They have to say the truth. They have to, they have to follow the science, and we have to avoid the fake news. But it's really difficult also.
Il ruolo della politica è in primo luogo quello di interpretare quello che è il criterio il principio della giustizia climatica, cioè decidere chi deve pagare la transizione ecologica, se dobbiamo essere tutti in maniera equa, giusta, o seppure debbano essere solo ed esclusivamente le persone più fragili, i più poveri, quelli che non hanno gli strumenti per poter affrontare i cambiamenti, perché noi ci troviamo di fronte a dei veri e propri tipping point, dei momenti in cui la nostra capacità di adattamento non è congrua con quello che è l'andamento dei cambiamenti climatici. Ecco perché è importante ovviamente intervenire anche sulle politiche di mitigazione dei cambiamenti climatici e ovviamente non solo demandare esclusivamente all'adattamento. Poi dopo magari parlo un attimo dell'Umbria, se possibile.
Okay. Basically he said, who has to pay for the transition? Who has to pay for the transition? Why? Because we are not ready, in a way, for this to face the climate change. There are people that should face that, and come si può dire? Non mi viene. In theory, everybody must do a part to do the transition and to face the climate change. So everybody must be able to do that, but not everybody can do that. Che altro hai detto? Ho detto qualcos'altro, mi sono persa? Okay. The concept, this is the concept of climate justice. Okay.
In Umbria noi abbiamo un'idea un po' matta, quella di invertire il presupposto, intervenire sulla riduzione del rischio, intervenire quindi andando a investire sulla nostra capacità di adattamento agli eventi estremi, andando anche quindi a fare una revisione delle nostre leggi, una revisione della nostra struttura, proprio per rendere più resilienti le nostre comunità, e lo abbiamo fatto inserendo all'interno del nostro statuto, che è la nostra Costituzione regionale, proprio il principio di un articolo dedicato alla crisi climatica, e quindi inserendo all'interno del nostro statuto che è necessario che tutte le politiche si conformino quindi a quella che è il quadro europeo, ovviamente, di raggiungimento degli obiettivi di riduzione di emissione, e anche di politiche di adattamento.
Okay, I try to be, okay. So in Umbria, we have a crazy idea. We want to be prepared to face the risk. So we are trying to do our best, also changing our internal law, and also which also changed our regional constitution, putting inside here, inside the constitution, the climate change. Okay, so we want to be able to face the risk. We want to be able to prevent also the risk. We want to be able to teach the population how to be resilient. We want to have an adaptation plan to the climate change.
Grazie.
Thank you.
So before closing, we have also the assessor from the municipality of Assisi has arrived. So if you want to say also something, and the president of l'ARES, Danilo Calabrese. So if you want to say something regarding our discussion, you are welcome.
Buonasera, avevo già fatto il saluto questa mattina, ora è solo per come dire, salutare anche l'amministrazione regionale che è qui e ci fa molto piacere. Ha tra l'altro ricordato il fatto che lo statuto della regione ha accolto all'interno dei suoi principi il rispetto, diciamo, di tutto ciò che è il rispetto per la natura, ma soprattutto l'emergenza climatica che c'è nel territorio. La stessa cosa è stata fatta anche dal Comune di Assisi, che ha inserito gli stessi principi all'interno dello statuto, e anche se in precedenza comunque, come è stato detto anche questa mattina, ha sempre dato attenzione a quello che è come dire, promuovere in tutti i modi possibili tutte le misure che possono andare a rispettare l'ambiente il quanto più possibile. Faccio un esempio: nelle scuole abbiamo messo gli erogatori di acqua purché non venga utilizzata la plastica, o abbiamo regalato le borracce a tutti i ragazzi delle scuole. Quando vengono fatte manifestazioni facciamo sì che le associazioni che fanno richiesta non utilizzino oggetti in plastica. Quindi comunque anche prima dell'inserimento nello statuto di questo principio abbiamo con misure concrete fatto sì che ci fosse da parte della cittadinanza il rispetto il più possibile per la natura e poter salvaguardare il nostro territorio. Però ecco, ve lo voglio, a questo punto mi ha dato l'occasione l'assessore per poterlo ricordare, e con questo vi dico, ecco, da parte nostra c'è tutta l'attenzione possibile, c'è un grande grazie a chi organizza momenti di questo tenore, perché fanno sì di far conoscere tutte queste problematiche più possibile a tutti, e mettere in atto tutte quelle misure che possono essere necessarie per fare del meglio per il nostro pianeta. Quindi grazie a tutti e spero che siate stati bene ad Assisi con noi.
So, in few words, in order to make you a translation, she welcoming the accessor of the region Umbria. She specified that the municipality of Assisi, first of all, she's very happy about the changing of the statute of the region that regarding environmental and prevention that we talked before about. And she wants to point that the municipality of Assisi also adopt some measures, for example, water distribution for the students and other measures that are aimed to prevent the waste of water and the reduction of consumption of plastic. And so they are happy, and they thanks also the organization of this event, that is Alta Scuola, and there is Andrew Martini that after will also talk us something about. And then that's it, and she thanks you also, all of you, to have been coming, and they are very close to our themes, so they are very close to what we are doing. Okay, thank you very much.
Io dico solo un grazie all'amministrazione di Assisi che ci ha consentito di utilizzare questo luogo straordinario. Voglio ricordare che l'Umbria è nota in Italia come cuore verde dell'Italia e Assisi è il cuore verde del cuore verde d'Italia. Okay?
So you want to thank the municipality of Assisi because they hosted in this very beautiful hall, and you want to say that Umbria is the green earth of Italy, and Assisi is the green earth of Umbria. So thank you very much.
Ok, thank you. Alta Scuola ringrazia tutti i relatori, ringrazia Danilo come l'Ares che ha collaborato con noi, un grazie a tutti, non li nomino, un grazie al Ministero dell'Interno algerino che ci ha onorato della sua presenza e ci auguriamo tutti che i ragazzi voi giovani abbiate recepito, abbiate capito qualche messaggio utile per il vostro futuro, perché il futuro della nostra terra, della vostra terra, è vostro. Grazie, ora voi farete un giro nella città e poi scusate alle 9 puntuali al pullman, ok? Per ritornare a Todi. Grazie.
So first of all, thanks to all our speakers that made this event possible, and thanks also to all of you, the students, for your participation. We hope that the messages that we have bring you has arrived to you, and you will change your mind and also use this useful information in your life. And technical information, at 9 o'clock there is the bus. So you can go out after the end of the meeting in Assisi, but at 9, alle 9, alle 21. Okay. Okay, at 9 o'clock at the parking of San Francesco. Okay. And before ending, also Danilo Calabrese from Lares.
Sì.
Okay, we have some gift
I wanted
from you.
just to say something about for Thomas that is here. Here we have a delegation from the University of Mato Grosso do Sul, Brazil. We have a delegation from the Federal University of Amazonia, Brazil. We have Manaus. We have sì. Sì, abbiamo Jussara Matias che è la nostra architetta brasiliana ma trapiantata a Todi. We have a big part of them are from Algeria, from the University of the One in Algeria. They are all architects, okay? Just to let you know, okay, about that. Giussara, want to say something? But before, now we have the guided tour. Guided tour. Don't get lost. 4:30.
Io sono architetto, brasiliano, rappresento a Università di Mato Grosso do Sul e di Amazônia. Io só vado dire una cosa per geologo, che o che ho parlato mi ha colpito molto. Perché? Perché noi in Brasile noi abbiamo una floresta che chiama Amazônia, che adesso sta in fuoco e dopo noi abbiamo di qua due guerre, che essere chimico, no? Sono due realtà diverse. Un anno fa in Brasile è successo una cosa che mai è successo in nostro paese. C'è un stato che chiama Rio Grande do Sul, che è un stato vicino a Uruguai e Argentina. E è un stato, possiamo dire che è un stato ricco, non è Rio de Janeiro, non è São Paulo, che c'è tanta problematica, favela. E è successo che è venuto un alluvione, acqua, e è distrutto questo stato. Mai è successo in nostro paese. È normale quando c'è piove, favela, questo noi siamo abituati. Va bene? Non è bello, ma siamo abituati. Ma questo io volevo dire per geologo, che prima ti ho parlato che non è tanto che si cambia clima. È vero questo che ti ho parlato? Per me mi piace. Che tu pensa di questa cosa che è venuta in Brasile, una cosa di natura che mai è successo in nostro paese?
Credo, anzi non io credo, è la realtà dei numeri. Dobbiamo abituarci a ragionare con altri numeri. L'intensità delle precipitazioni, le quantità delle precipitazioni oggi sono quelle con le quali si calcolavano le infrastrutture, si calcolavano i rischi, si calcolava qualcosa, ma 10 anni fa, non 100 anni fa. Ora le ipotesi cautelative che avevamo 10-15 anni fa sono state raggiunte nelle precipitazioni, nelle temperature, quindi dobbiamo cambiare modo di ragionare, dobbiamo essere però umili su questo, dobbiamo capire, non dobbiamo rimanere fissi perché tanto è sempre piovuto, perché l'estate è caldo, perché l'inverno è freddo, abbiamo altri numeri, questo lo dobbiamo capire noi, ma lo devono capire i ragazzi, perché sono i ragazzi giovani che salveranno il mondo, perché qualche cosa a questo mondo bisogna fare, non possiamo continuare ad andare avanti così e sono loro che lo dovranno fare, perché loro sono bravi. Hanno sempre il naso sul telefono, ma quando tireranno sul naso dal telefono, loro sono capaci di fare questo e dovranno essere loro a fare questo. Perché sì, perché sono loro che dovranno fare questo.
Okay, just a quick translation. So something really strange happened in Brazil. So they have the habit of floods and everything, but in a state that is, qual è lo stato?
Rio Grande do Sul.
Rio Grande do Sul. Next to Argentina, okay, next to the Patagonia. There had been a big flood that destroyed the country. È uno stato, no? Okay. So she said, how is it possible that people don't understand that there is something really strange because something like this never happened? And so he asked, because he's a geologist and he was speaking about that before. And he said, we have to change our way of thinking. We have to change because it is something, climate change exists. So we have to change our way of thinking. And it's you, young people, they have to carry on. It's your responsibility to save the world, okay?
Io questa considerazione da geologo. L'uomo, Homo sapiens, ha la capacità di adattarsi e di essere resiliente. Siamo partiti dall'uomo di Neanderthal, oggi abbiamo l'uomo digitale. Il problema vero è il sistema antropizzato, rigido, che dobbiamo adattare. Questo è il problema, non solo l'uomo ce la può fare, ma bisogna investire molto per adattare il sistema che abbiamo costruito con quei numeri che avevamo pensato essere dei numeri buoni e che oggi non lo sono più.
So he said that man, I mean the human being, is able to adapt himself because we started from Neanderthal and now we are digital, okay? So we are able to adapt to face the climate change as a human being. The problem is not the human being, but it's the system, the anthropic system that we built. We built with some numbers that when we built, we were almost sure that they were good, but numbers are changing. So now the big problem is not the person, is not a human being, but it's the system that is around that has to be changed. Prego?
It's not your problem, it's our problem. And the resolution of this problem, we must research, la dobbiamo trovare insieme, la dobbiamo cercare insieme.
We have to find it together.
È nostro dovere trovarla.
It's our duty to find a solution. We have to do it together.
Io non ve la faccio più lunga di quanto non l'abbiamo già fatta, ci siamo già detti tutto, semplicemente in sintesi, la sintesi dell'assessore è corretta, lavori importanti vanno fatti nella pluralità di un lavoro collegiale, questo tavolo è un esempio di un pezzo fondamentale degli attori che concorrono a questo cambiamento, c'è la libera professione, c'è il mondo della ricerca, c'è il mondo delle amministrazioni centrali, i comuni, gli attori probabilmente fondamentali dagli elementi più semplici della nostra gestione amministrativa e poi di governo del territorio per le competenze regionali. Grazie a tutti per il vostro contributo perché ognuno di voi porta la propria esperienza e ce n'è tanta. Serve capacità di visione, serve anche coraggio perché scelte semplici come quella di mettere all'interno della Costituzione regionale, dello Statuto regionale, un elemento così può sembrare banale o esclusivamente simbolico, ma in realtà racchiude il coraggio di una scelta politica che dichiara un indirizzo senza dubbi rispetto ad un percorso che sicuramente sarà complesso, perché quando parliamo di alluvione, assessore, stiamo parlando di ridisegnare, come abbiamo già detto, il territorio, la sua capacità che è fondata su modelli meteorologici che oggi non trovano nessuna forma di riscontro, quindi sarà complicato e anche se avessimo tutti i soldi del mondo in mano comunque servirebbero probabilmente per riadattare, professor Guzzetti, per riadattare le opere idrauliche del paese decine e decine di anni di lavori, anche ad avere i soldi. Per questo dico serve coraggio ma serve visione, in questo l'Umbria è un faro dal punto di vista sia legislativo che anche operativo, quindi buon lavoro a tutti noi, a tutti i livelli di governo e a tutti i livelli della società che concorre a questo. Grazie. No, la fermiamo qui. Let's take a picture together and before leaving I also want to present to you with something.
So, come here, all of you. So, who is the one who will take the picture? So you have to come all here. We are going to take a picture all together. So come here. Come on. It doesn't change. You have to come. Remain here since you come here. Girls, come here. Girls, you have to come here. Hey, Someone in the center, please. Okay.
Lei deve fare prima la foto in italiano, poi in inglese.
Perfect. Thank you very much.